Hey, what's up guys? Justin here. So if you have been paying attention to the news or watching any of my videos lately, you are well aware that stocks like Tesla and Nikola have seen huge price increases with all of the hype surrounding electric vehicles. And it seems like all you have to do as a CEO is simply mention the words electric vehicle and your stock price will double. Therefore, it's no surprise that it is getting harder and harder to find reasonably priced stocks of electric vehicle manufacturers. But today, I bring you a stock that has been largely flying under the radar in this electric vehicle market segment that I think is still reasonably valued at the moment. And that stock is Workhorse, ticker symbol WKHS. And I apologize if this video feels rushed, but I wanted to get this video out ASAP because people are starting to hear about this stock. And the price is going up dramatically. And waiting even a day means missing out on huge gains. For me, I was unable to purchase shares on Friday when the stock went up 15% that day, which meant I had to wait until today, Monday. And guess what? Workhorse is up 40% as of this morning. But I'm still a buyer even after today's big price jump because I still believe there is a lot of upside left for Workhorse stock. So in this video, I wanted to explain why I'm buying Workhorse stock and what the future holds for this company. But first, I need you to gently click that subscribe button because yes, this channel has been growing fast, but most of that is due to me opening up new YouTube accounts and just subscribing to myself over and over again. So I really need your help now more than ever to keep growing. So let's explain what Workhorse does for people that are unfamiliar with the company. Workhorse manufactures and sells battery electric vans called the C-Series that are used for last mile delivery. And they have successfully passed federal safety tests just last week, which means they can now start delivering these vans to their customers. And these customers include delivery companies such as UPS, DHL, and Ryder, with UPS having already ordered 1,060 vans. The company also has proprietary fleet tracking and route planning software, so delivery companies can easily manage and optimize their fleets. The company has also invested heavily in unmanned drones that will deliver small packages straight to your front porch. On top of that, Workhorse has licensed $12.2 million worth of proprietary tech to Lordstown Motors to help them build their electric pickup truck, the Endurance, with an agreement to receive a royalty for every pickup truck sold. Kevin O'Leary would be proud. Additionally, Workhorse received a 10% stake in Lordstown Motors as part of the agreement. So I know that was a lot of information condensed down, but it really shows you how many positive catalysts this company has. And it checks a lot of boxes that I look for when choosing high-growth companies. Workhorse's products are easily understandable and fit into a larger secular growth trend. Workhorse also has proprietary technology that gives it a competitive advantage, and it is operating in a segment of the market that has no other serious competitors at the moment. I also like management's decision to invest in things such as drone delivery technology because that could be a source of patents in the future that they can either license to other companies or use themselves. And it also shows me that they are interested in pushing the boundaries, which will encourage the company to grow. On top of that, I think this is an attractive entry point because Workhorse is actually starting to sell their electric delivery vans to customers, which will bring in revenue and allow them to invest that capital back into other growth products. And really, this is the main reason I am not a big fan of Nikola, the other electric vehicle company, and why I am choosing to buy Workhorse instead. Nikola doesn't have plans to start manufacturing any products until 2023. That is 3 years from now, which is fine, but that is a long time to go without any revenue coming in. And honestly, they don't even need more money at this point. Trevor Milton, their CEO, just bought a $32 million ranch in Utah. So they have plenty of money, and really what they need to do is start manufacturing something with that money. And until they can do that, I am not willing to give them any of my money. But with Workhorse, I feel like the opposite is true. The biggest problem facing Workhorse is lack of capital, and a company's ability to raise capital is tied directly to their stock price. So by investing in Workhorse stock, I am expecting them to use my $1,000 wisely to help grow the company. And as the company grows, my $1,000 will grow too. And I do think when we compare Workhorse's valuation to that of other electric vehicle manufacturers such as Tesla and Nikola, there is a lot of room for growth. Tesla has a market cap close to $200 billion, and newcomer Nikola has a market cap of $25 billion. So when I saw Workhorse stock had a valuation of only $1 billion in this high growth segment of the market, I knew that this was a company that still had a lot of room to run. For example, if Workhorse can go from a $1 billion valuation up to $25 billion, where Nikola is currently at, that would mean a 2,500% return, which means that my $1,000 investment would be worth $25,000. And keep in mind that Nikola has been able to achieve a $25 billion valuation despite not having manufactured a single product. So basically, Nikola is a company with an idea and some working prototypes that is now valued more than Ford, which shows you how much growth potential there is in the electric vehicle market right now. Something else I like about Workhorse stock is that instead of trying to jump into the crowded consumer car market, they are instead selling to delivery companies. And they also own a 10% stake in Lordstown Motors, which is only selling its electric pickup truck, the Endurance, to companies as a fleet vehicle. Now, I could probably make an entirely separate video talking about Lordstown Motors and the Endurance pickup truck because it is an interesting vehicle. Instead of the electric motors being housed in the chassis, they are actually located inside the wheels themselves, which I think is clever and differentiates them from other electric pickup trucks that will be entering the market. But keep in mind that the technology used in the Endurance pickup truck was licensed from Workhorse, and that Workhorse gets a royalty from the sales of the Endurance if it is a huge success. Therefore, buying Workhorse stock is a great way to take advantage of any successes Lordstown Motors has, since Lordstown Motors is not a publicly traded company, and average retail investors like you and me cannot invest in it. Now, from here, I could go into more detail about Workhorse stock and talk about their financials and their debt and all of this other stuff, but at the end of the day, I don't think that would be super helpful because investing in a stock like Workhorse is a speculative investment, which basically means that there is a high risk of loss. That's because this is a new company entering a new segment of the market with very few sales of actual products. Therefore, it is impossible to know for certain whether or not Workhorse is a good investment if we were to look 5 to 10 years into the future. And for you, as a long-term investor, I think it's okay to make speculative investments. But I do think you need some rules and guidelines that you follow to keep your emotions in check and to prevent yourself from making bad investment decisions. For one, don't buy a speculative stock that is clearly overvalued. In my opinion, Nikola is a good example of this. Nikola is a speculative investment because the company has not sold any products yet, and no one knows anything about how those products will perform once they actually do start manufacturing them. And if we compare Nikola to Tesla, by the time Tesla had a market cap of $25 billion, they had already manufactured and sold the Tesla Roadster and had been selling the Model S for an entire year. So if you are going to make a speculative investment, make sure there is enough upside to justify you taking on the extra risk. And try not to buy at the top if possible. If Nikola had a market cap of $1 billion to $5 billion today, I would probably buy some shares. But at $25 billion, I'm just not interested. The other speculative investment I passed up was Virgin Galactic, which went on a huge run and then came back down to earth. No pun intended. I just wasn't buying the whole space tourism thing at the time, and the growth story wasn't believable to me. So the stock price went way up and then crashed once people realized there were no products or revenue streams propping up the company. The other rule I have is to limit my speculative investments to the maximum amount of money I am willing to lose. What this does is limit my potential losses and allows me to make mistakes without losing all of my money. For example, a $1,000 investment in Tesla 10 years ago would now be worth more than $50,000. So you risk a small amount of money for a potentially large return. And generally speaking, I size my position based on the market cap of the company. Now, this isn't a foolproof method of risk analysis, but it is a good starting point when deciding how to size your position on a long-term investment. For me, any stock with a market cap less than $1 billion is a speculative investment. Therefore, I will try to not put more than 2% of my portfolio into such a stock. Now, rules are meant to be broken, so if an extraordinary opportunity presents itself, I might consider putting in a higher percentage. For example, I invested $10,000 in Shopify back in 2017 when it had a market cap of only $10 billion. That $10,000 investment has turned into $100,000 in just 3 years. So there are extraordinary opportunities that present themselves, and as growth investors, I think it's good we have at least a couple of these speculative investments in our portfolios. So what I'm trying to say here is be smart about these speculative investments, but don't avoid growth opportunities altogether just because there are unknowns about the company and you are afraid of losing some money. Now, before I get into too much trouble in the comments section for encouraging speculative investments, keep in mind that I do not like losing money and that I am extremely picky when I do buy speculative stocks. And I can list many stocks that I have not invested in that could have been considered speculative investments. Also, I do plan on holding onto Workhorse stock for at least 1 year. And this is important because with smaller companies, there is a lot of volatility. So it is important to be able to hold onto a stock without selling it if the stock does drop significantly. In fact, I don't recommend you invest in any individual stock, large or small, if you can't handle the volatility of that stock. If this describes you, you would probably be better off investing in index funds and then never checking your stocks. But with Workhorse stock, I think there is enough compelling information about the stock that there will need to be very negative news in order for the stock to drop significantly. Now, there could still be volatility since people may want to take profits here and there, but I think the current valuation represents a reasonable entry point as a long-term investment. So there you go, guys. Let me know what you think about Workhorse stock in the comment section below. Also, let me know what your opinion is on speculative investments, because I definitely think there is a way to successfully invest in high growth companies, but a lot of people would discourage it because it goes against the traditional investing advice. And really, if you're still watching this video, that is what I am trying to do with this channel. I want to give advice that challenges the status quo and that will help you grow your money faster and retire way earlier than you thought was even possible. So if that describes you and your goals with investing, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next one.